What is going on, guys? Panther here, and we are bringing you our LBC Week 4 battle against Sin and his Toronto Tyrantrums. So this battle is a few days, maybe a week or so late. Had a pretty busy week with this and the BBO. Just trying to catch up things. Got an APA event that's going on right now as well, so I've been pretty tied up with that. And just some other personal things, but had a really good battle against Sin here. A couple weeks ago, and we're just going to go ahead and narrate this and bring this to you. So right now we're sitting at 2-1 on the season, I believe. So pretty good chance for playoffs this season. It's only 8 weeks, so it's a pretty short one. But Sin's got a pretty good team here. He's got some pretty big threats on his squad, and we need to be sure that we can handle all of these adequately. So we have just a pretty basic Sylveon Wish Pass with Heal Bell. Hyper Voice does a number to his team, except for that Mega Venusaur, but if I can just throw up a Wish, I can pass it around to Hydreigon or Rotom Heat or even Mega Gallade potentially, just depending upon the move that he clicks. I have a Scarfed Rotom, just as a bulkier pivot. Matches up pretty decently against his team. Can take hits from the Thundurus as well and throw off an Overheat potentially to catch it after Rocks and knock it out. Banded Staraptor, there's nothing really that needs to be said about that. His resist is a Thundurus. So Banded Raptor just really goes in. If I can bring it in on Venusaur, I can click Banded Brave Bird. And if rocks are up, I can get a kill every time. So was excited about Raptor here. I have Speed Pass Scolipede first week, bringing the Speed Pass. So Scolipede's basically here to just protect up, set spikes, and try to pass that to Hydreigon and Gallade to come in and finish the game off. SD, Gallade, so pretty basic there. I have Sneak on it with Close Combat and Zen. And then Hydreigon is a bulkier set. I have Dual Stab because it hits his team perfectly with Taunt and Roost. So Taunt, obviously, so the Mega Venusaur can't heal up. Then I have Dark EMZ as well. So let's go ahead and jump into the battle, and we'll see how it goes. So I decided to lead off with my Sylveon here. I felt like it led off the best with his lead. So if you wanted to lead Hitmontop just to try to spin away hazards that Scolipede's setting, or if you want to leave a Donphan or even Espeon to try to bounce those hazards back, or even Thundurus just to try to pivot out. This was my best lead overall. It just really didn't match up well against Venusaur. But yeah. So I think he's going to go for the rocks. Even if he doesn't go for the rocks and goes for the EQ, still going to eat that up. I'm going to be able to Hyper Voice here and do some major damage, which is great news for my Scolipede, Gallade, and Hydreigon. Now I predict him to go into the Venusaur here and make an aggressive double out into the Staraptor. And that is just what he does, as a matter of fact, and goes out into Venusaur. So now we've got Banded Raptor in. I do take rocks, which is unfortunate, but I've got Banded Raptor in. And I can just fire off Brave Bird. Now, I don't have rocks up, so I'm not guaranteed to kill here, unfortunately. But Banded Brave Bird is going to do a number to this Thundurus. So, that is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to fire off a Banded Brave Bird, and that does like 95%, 93% or something like that. So, you can see why I just really wanted to bring Banded Raptor. I want to keep this thing around too because I can bring it in again and just click Brave Bird, especially if I can get rid of the Stealth Rocks. Pause that, guys. I think my DS just went out for some reason, so we'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back. Sorry about that. I wasn't even aware that this thing had to be really maintain an internet connection to play these replays, but. Anyways, just like I said, yeah, a Brave Bird blows this thing back. Now, I want to go out into my Rotom here for a couple of reasons. I don't want to pivot into my Sylveon quite yet. I want to keep it at a good amount of HP because the Espeon's kind of threatening against my team. And if he just wants to go for a Volt Switch or T-Bolt or something like that, then this is what I want to take it, so I can follow that up with another pivot with a Volt Switch. And so that's exactly what he does. He goes out into Espeon, which is a threat from what I'm seeing. So I'm just going to go ahead and Volt Switch. And that reveals him Scarf, of course. I'm going to get some decent damage off on this thing. So I'm going to be able to pivot out, and I'm going to go into my Sylveon here. As I do believe he actually sets up a Calm Mind here on this turn. Yep. So he has Calm Mind. And So I'm thinking at this point, Calm Mind, Dual Stab, like Dazzling Gleam plus Psychic and Morning Sun. And that's actually a pretty big threat to my team. I don't have a good switch into that. So Sylveon's going to be the play here. I'm just going to spam Hyper Voice as he throws up a Wish. So that's telling me he's not Protect, or he is some type of like he's either Protect or he is not a second attacking move. So yeah, he doesn't Protect here, which basically tells me that he does have 2 attacking moves, but he does not have Protect. So he's like Wish, Calm Mind, probably Psychic or Psyshock, and then either Focus Blast or Dazzling Gleam is what I would assume. But yeah, is what it is. So I'm able to just stay at a good amount of HP here. I have dedicated switch-ins to this thing, so I'm not too worried about it. So, you know, like I said, is what it is here. So I'm going to go into my Scolipede. I can take whatever this thing wants to throw, except for like an HP Fire. I don't want to take that, obviously. But I want to start boosting with this thing as he goes with the SD, which was very scary here, not going to lie, at this point in the game. So he goes with the SD, so he's SD. That tells me he's Power Whip and probably EQ for my like a Alolan Sandslash and probably my Empoleon. I guess he wouldn't need EQ to hit my Empoleon, but I'm gonna go ahead and just Protect up here, see what he wants to go for, and that does confirm that as well. So I'm +1 now. I can just go ahead and BP out, and I'm gonna go ahead and BP out into one of my ground immunities and my Hydreigon. So I'm up +1, and yeah, he's gonna go ahead and pop the Leech Seed, and yeah, that's a bit annoying because I wanted to be able to taunt this thing to prevent that. So I know I don't want to try to 1v1 this thing at this point yet with that Leech Seed up. So I'm going to go ahead and make another double out here and go into my Rotom as he goes for the Petal Blizzard. And was a little bit confused here at this point because he's Petal Blizzard, SD, EQ, and Leech Seed. So I don't know if he meant to be Power Whip or what exactly, but either way, we do lose our Rotom here on this turn. So Rotom goes down, I bring in Raptor, and now it's my turn. So now I get my kill. So he's going to actually leave his Venusaur in, which is huge for us, and doesn't sack off like Torn or Donphan or anything like that. We lose Staraptor in the process, but that is a great trade for us. We'll definitely take knocking out the Venusaur there any day of the week. So he's up 5-4 at this point in the battle, but I'm liking where we're at. So here's the Thundy now, and I'm just going to go ahead and Protect here, I believe. I think I Protect because I think he's Scar probably planted at this point. As Hitmontop's going to come out and get a Intimidate off. Yep, so I just Protect. And this is going to kind of let me decide what I want to do here. If I want to pivot out into Gallade, or if I want to go into my Sylveon, or what exactly I want to do. So he's going to throw off the Fake Out. And so Fake Out is basically telling me he's not Technician, he's Intimidate, but he's Fake Out. And it's kind of leading me to believe that he's an AV set, because you wouldn't typically see that. So I'm thinking like Fake Out, Spin is probably what he is. So he's going to bring out the Donphan as I have a Baton Pass out here. Probably would have went to my Sylveon if he would have stayed in, but now this is going to allow me to bring in my Hydreigon actually. And Big Daddy Dre is going to be able to really put on some pressure because as you can see, he does not like switching into this Hydreigon. Calc the Ice Shard is only doing about 30% to me, so I'm going to not even play with this thing just in case he has like Superpower or something, or Play Rough. I don't want to overpredict here and get a play wrong trying to roost up on this thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and knock this thing out with the D-Pulse. Down goes the Donphan, and that opens the door for my Scolipede even if I want to do something later in the game with it, if I can get rid of the Camerupt. So I'm going to go ahead and roost up on this thing. Even if it's Specs, I can eat whatever he wants to go for, even if it's HP Ice. And he does go for the Hidden Power, and that tells me that, yes, he is... I forget if he was Specs or if he was like E-Belt or something. I forget the calc on it, but no, he wasn't Specs. The Specs was doing like 30. Anyways, This thing, I'm modest, so this is actually a guaranteed OCO on the camera up with the investment that he has. And even if it wasn't, you saw that the most he was going to be able to do is just knock me out. And I was going to be able to pave the way for Sylveon to kind of wrap things up here if necessary. So I was comfortable dropping my Z move there just to try to finish this thing off. That's exactly what we did. So down goes Camerupt, and Sylveon is looking very threatening now at this point. So he's got Hitmontop in. I've got Sylveon, and there's nothing that this thing can do to Sylveon, as he's just going to go for the Fake Out. And I believe I just fire off the Hyper Voice here. I think he sacks on this turn. It sacks Espeon. If I'm right. Yeah, he sacks off the Espeon to the Hyper Voice. So down goes Espeon. And it's not looking great because I've got Sylveon in here, and it should be able to take on these last two members of Sin's team. He doesn't really break it here at this point. So in comes the Thunderous, and there's the Volt Switch out on my Sylveon. I think I just wished up here, just in case he was like a Sludge Wave. I could wish up, just stay at a good amount of HP, scout, see what he wants to do. But even at this point in the game, Glade's looking threatening, especially with the Shadow Sneak. So no, I didn't wish up, but just attacking is definitely fair there too. So he goes out into the Hitmontop, confirming that is AV, because that is Hyper Voice, and he's just going to Fake Out. As you can see, Fake Out doesn't do much. Even if it's BP, he's not Technician boosted or anything like that. Even if he's like Adamant BP, it's still not enough to take me out. So he's going to CC here, and we eat that up, obviously. Strong move, Adamant close combat from this thing definitely hurts, but we can easily eat that up. Just go for the Wish, and we really just want to make sure we're out of range of every attack that this thing can throw out, as well as that Thunderous, because we want to maintain some differential here. So I know we can take the following close combat, so I'm just going to go ahead and fire off the Hyper Voice and pick up the kill in the Hitmontop, and then it's going to be Thunderous versus the world here. So down goes Hitmontop, and we are in pretty good shape here with this Sylveon catching its Wish and getting that Leftovers recovery too. So in some good shape here. So in comes the Thunderous, and even if he's Sludge Wave, I am well out of range of that. So he's just going to T-Bolt, and barring like a full para, we should be in good shape. Obviously that does not happen, and we knock out the Thunderous. So that is a good game to Sin. Fun one here. Really excited that the Hydreigon set ended up paying off. Hate that Glade couldn't touch the field and get some action in, but it's what it is there. But yeah, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed. I played Brady in week 6. Week 5, not week 6. So I played Brady actually later tonight, so that one will be up soon as well. I know that one's late, but just with had some pretty bad weather here in North Carolina here this past week or so. So it is what it is there. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the LBC so far this season. And then yeah, we'll catch you guys next time against Brady.